listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio
DORiS
on
Radio,
WHCP.
And I think, like, if we can focus on the things that we need just daily, like, of course you want to plan. The Bible do tell you to plan for what's to come, but you got to lay those plans at God's feet at the end of the day. And one thing that's helped me with my anxiety, I didn't say that on the radio, but working at the jail gave me real bad anxiety. Like, real bad. I still take medication to this day, but I've been so much calmer, not because of the medication, but because I've been able to live in the moment.
Okay.
No matter how it feels. Because our reality can slip away from us from time to time. I'm a visionary. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm always dreaming. I can escape real quick in my head of what the future is going to be like for me and my family, right? But what is my reality today? How can I help someone today? Because all of these things that I do today lead up to what's going to come tomorrow and in my future. So you truly do reap what you sow. So I just want to sow. If I sow love, that's the fruit of the Spirit. The joy and all of those, the joy, meekness, and all of those things, they're characteristics of love. They're going to sprout from my seed of love. It's just the way it works.
Come on, man.
It's just the way it works, and that joy is going to get you through those bad days. Like I told you earlier, a month and a half ago, I was ready to give up. If it weren't for my stepdad saying, "Tashana, you done came too far. You can't give up." I sacrificed so much. But then I still had to take myself out of that equation and realize what God truly sacrificed. So, look, it's all coming together. It's all working together for my good. And if I could, I think going into this season, selflessness is going to be the word. Selflessness is going to be the word for me. Because if I can take myself out of the equation and put someone else in my shoes, I can help benefit them in a lot of ways.
It really helps reshaping that perspective. It makes it a lot more manageable. And I love that thing about, being in the present.
You have to.
One of my favorite mantras is "Be here now," and I read it in some book, Ram Dass. I don't know if Ram Daas. It's like a lot of affirmations and things. He's I believe it's Buddhist. Of the root, and but in that they say something. They say anxiety comes from living in the future. Depression comes from living in the past, and inner peace comes from living in the present. And if we just take time to just be here now, and that's something I say to myself sometimes if I'm getting little anxious, overwhelmed, just to remind myself. I'm saying in my head, I'm like, be here now.
That's it. That's why
you good right now.
That's why I said if you go and put your feet in the grass.
Yes, I told you I gotta do that. When you said that, I could almost feel it. I'm looking forward to that.
When I had COVID back in July, as soon as I got outside, I was like, "Ooh!" The first thing I did, I took a picture of me and with my feet in the grass.
Yes,
because it was just that moment of like, God, I thank you, because so many people didn't come out of that.
That's real.
So many people didn't come out of it. So let me honor you by just being here right now and enjoying God's earth. It's beautiful. This is where I live at. I'm here. I'm grounded. So living now, I've not had an anxiety attack in a little over a month.
That's beautiful.
Even coming here, this is brand new, something new. I was a little nervous. I was a little scared, but I'm here now.
Someone talking to the
so yeah, I'm here now. So with that being said, I'm just soaking up this presence. I ain't really picked up my phone besides just take notes and resources and things like that, because this is time that you can't get back. It's time I can't get back, but we can nurture each other while we're here. And so because we're nurturing one another, it's beneficial for both of us.
And that applies to every second of our day.
Yeah.
It's there's a ways that we can be nurturing. Even when we're alone, we can be nurturing others and ourselves. And something you said earlier when you were talking about that, taking Mondays off, and when you described it, that creativity in my head, that was when I was thinking, I'm like, even that's work. You know, a part of being a creative is having time to have creative thoughts. You know, being in this era of the multi-hyphenate that we're living in, where you got to be doing both, the business side and the creative side. It can that finding that balance can be the trick. And it's like you can get there's so many distractions that come with that business side of your passions. You know? And it's like that can deter from the creative side, but both are important and both are necessary. And so I loved when you were sharing that I feel like that's a really helpful tool that we can apply, like taking that time, being intentional about creating space in your schedule for creativity, time to have to yourself, where you're not having to be so distracted by everything that you got to do and get done and take care of. And it was him 500 on Instagram. Him 500. Yeah, him 500 on Instagram. His name is Marcus. He was on a live one time not too long ago, and he was like, I spend majority of my time thinking. And I was like, why you need all that time to think? It don't make no sense. Like, what you thinking about? Like, what is going on in this process? But now I can kind of grasp the concept of what he was saying, because like you said, once you take that time away from the world and sit with yourself, a lot of people can't look themselves in the face in a mirror. A lot of people can't sit with themselves because they get so irritable. They don't even know. But that time that you get to yourself, you get to know who you are. You can listen to that still spirit. That's your connection. Listening to that spirit. What is your spirit saying? You know, when you go into a place where it's dark, right? I was just using this the other night. I was like, man, I knew when I turned my lights off, it wasn't nothing in here. So why would I think something is in here now? Like, what happened? None of the doors open. Everything was just fine. You got to shut those thoughts out. And you have to fight it. Your mind. Yeah, you gotta battle that stuff with truth. What is your truth? You know it ain't nothing in here. Go to sleep. Boom. But yeah, so what you said about balance. I don't believe in balance. Okay. Thanks to Yoli, freely Yoli on Instagram. She has a framework where balance is basic. Okay. And so a little bit about that, and definitely follow her on Instagram. She's amazing. She basically tells us that it proves to us through her life that everything needs an SOP, a standard operation procedure. Okay. The family, all of that stuff, because God and confusion don't go hand in hand. So with those SOPs, when you go to your job, that SOP, that standard operation procedure, tells you how to operate whatever task you're doing. So with that being said, coming back to the framework of balance, she gave me the analogy of a waitress. And she's got trays full of food and she's trying to balance. It can be hard. But when you have harmony in your life, harmony takes away a lot of the things that you don't like. And it focuses on those morals of the things that you do love and desire and hold dear to your heart. So now when things come up against you, you say, oh, I don't like that. So remember we were talking about purpose earlier. Like, is this going to get me to my purpose? Is this going to get me to the things that I truly desire? Or is it going to distract me? With harmony and understanding that in your life and what you want and desire, you can easily say no. Because that's not going to serve me in this season. You can easily say no. That's not going to benefit me or the people who I'm serving. How is that going to benefit them? No. So now no's come a lot easier because now I have harmony in my life. And that comes with the peace of sitting still. So now, like, I give myself permission to sit still for 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you got to give yourself permission. Some people haven't been able to do a lot of things because they weren't given permission. In school, they teach you, oh, you got to have permission to go to the bathroom. What? I got to go to the bathroom. Why do I need permission? Sometimes you got to give yourself permission because it's a time and a place for everything. So give yourself that space. But that harmony is what has helped me balance. What is it that my heart truly desires? How do I get there? I was listening to Miles Monroe today, and
Oh yeah, I gets deep, right? I listened to Miles Monroe today, and it was basically about how to write your plan for your life. And he was stating that there are things that are going to look like they align with what your plan is, but they don't, right? So it's like with him, it was more of like when you start finding the things that you truly desire, not only like that you treasure, right? The Bible tells you that your treasure, where your heart is where you store your treasures at, basically. So most people's treasures is the home because it's the most expensive thing, right? But if we can dig deep into the things that we truly desire and love, those are the things that keep us straight and narrow. We now know. So baking is my thing, cooking is my thing. Tashana for the rest of her life is going to be all things baking, all things cooking. It's just going to look different. It may come in a journal form. It may come in a devotional. It may come as a book. It may come as an ebook. But it's going to be all things cooking and baking, all things healthy. You know, so one of the things I haven't gotten into, but I'm excited to, is I spoke earlier to you about mental health. You can't have wealth without mental health. You can't have wealth without eating properly. And so I want to continue to educate people on eating properly. Like somebody may say, oh, well, you sell desserts for a living. Like all of that sugar and this and this. Moderation. Everything is in moderation. How you interact with people has to be in moderation. How you work has to be in moderation. How you sleep has to be in moderation. Everything has to be in moderation. So you can't touch wealth until you have a flat line of health, mental, spirit, and physical. So as people are taking care of their mental health, you need to make sure you're eating right. So prayerfully, people's doctors are letting them know, like, look, you need to be eating right as well. But if not, how can you achieve this freedom? How can you achieve it? You can't. You can't. We there now.
Come on, man.